Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Well, it's been a while since I've done a garage tour. We've got plenty of fresh stock, so I thought today, while it's nice and sunny, although it's freezing, I'd give you a quick tour. Excuse the mess, by the way, the garage itself is still a bit of a work in progress. Work has begun, but it's not done yet. There'll be a separate video coming soon with that. Right, we might as well start with this then. So this is a 2013 Audi A3 5-door Sportback, 1.4 litre petrol. I bought this last week and it's a beautiful car actually. It's only done about 74,000 miles. When I bought it, it had a couple of faults. The heater wasn't working and it was misfiring. It was running terribly actually. And I kind of worried. When I got it from the main dealers, it was fine. And then within a couple of miles, it was running poorly. I was kind of worried that it'd be something major. Anyway, luckily it wasn't. It just needed new coil packs and spark plugs. The reason the heater wasn't working was a dodgy heater matrix. I was chatting to my mechanic earlier, they had to take most of the dash out to replace the heater matrix, but now it's all sorted. And I think it looks really good in red actually too. It's quite striking. Next to it, we've got a late 2018 Peugeot 308. Now this, as much as I bash French cars, it's a really good car this. It's a 1.2 litre petrol and it's only done 19,000 miles. We're currently selling it for $9,995. Auto Trader suggested it was worth a little bit more, but I always panic with very low mileage cars like this. So I thought I'd keep it under £10,000 and just try and sell it more quickly. I think it's a bit more attractive. I've done a few miles on this and I was just really impressed with it. It feels as though you're in a German car really. You've got a nice panoramic glass roof and it's called a Tech Edition. So you get plenty of optional extras. Moving over here then, we've had this in stock for a couple of months. It's an Isuzu D-Max pickup truck. It's a 2021, but it's done quite a lot of miles. It's done 170,000 miles. It was owned by a motorway maintenance company, so it's just driven up and down the motorway lots and lots of times. We had an inquiry on that last week. This is quite an interesting one actually. We had an inquiry from a guy in Barbados that wanted to export it. So I was hoping to get a nice little free trip out of it, but it never happened. Parked next to the Isuzu is a 2016 Range Rover Evoque. Now this actually came in part exchange against a 2021 Range Rover Evoque that we had, and it's a really nice example. So it's done 40,000 miles, it's got full service history, and it's quite a good spec. Lots of people love to hate the Evoque, but I think they're quite a good car to be honest. It's basically underneath a Land Rover Freelander 2, which again is a good car. Parked next to that we've got a 2016 66 reg Renault Kadjar, which they're all right. It would be a good family car to be honest. This one at least is quite a good spec. So you've got a full leather interior, a nice glass roof, sat nav, reverse camera, all that sort of stuff. And they're very cheap to run. That's all the sort of positive things I can say about one of those really. Next to it is a Nissan Qashqai. Now this one's an automatic. The early ones used a CVT auto, but this is actually like a twin clutch. And yeah, it's quite a nice colour. That's all I can say about the Qashqai. Next to it, we've got, this is quite an interesting car actually. I've had this in stock for far longer than I anticipated. It's a 2016 Ford Focus Estate, but it's a Zetec S or something, so it's got a sportier pack on it. And it just looks really cool, I think. And I fully expected to sell that straight away, and it's been here for about a month and a half now, and I haven't had a single inquiry on it, which is disappointing. Next to the Focus is a VW T-Roc. Now this actually I bought from the previous owner, a local lady. She'd only done, I think it's done something like, the mileage is very low. Yeah, 16,000 miles. It's a 1 litre petrol manual. And again, it's a really nice car, but I always seem to struggle to sell late low mileage cars like that. People always just want cars for about £5 and less. It's weird. Anyway, one of these days somebody will come along with 16,995 and get themselves a good car, I'm sure of it. Over here we've got a Honda Jazz. Now we actually supplied this car to the previous owner a couple of years ago, and it's a nice low mileage example. I think it's only done something like 10,000 miles, let me just check. It's a 1.5 litre petrol and it's only done 13,000 miles. Are you ready for Matt's fun fact of the day? In most markets the Honda Jazz isn't known as the Jazz, it's known as the Honda Fit. There we go. Another one same time tomorrow. Over here we've got an Audi TT. Now this is a Mark III Audi TT. And I've mentioned this in loads of videos, but I'm a big fan of the TT. Going all the way back to the Mark Is, which came out in 1998. And yeah, I'm surprised this hasn't sold. This one's a 2015. It's annoying, isn't it? Excuse me while I get the specs up. Since we were broken into and somebody stole all my iDrive system out of my BMW 4 Series, I'm now very tight on security. Everything's locked all the time. So yeah, this is a 2 litre petrol. It's done 86,000 miles and it's for sale for $11,495, which I think for a Mark III just looks like great value. Something else which looks like great value is the Kia Soul next door. Now I know this resembles Postman Pat's van, but It's got full service history. It's been serviced by Kia something like 10 times. It's low mileage, and I just thought it would have sold by now, and it hasn't. It's even got a full black leather interior. Before we continue with today's garage tour, let me just say a quick thank you to today's video sponsor, Car Vertical. Now, before you hand over any cash for a used car or motorbike, it's really important that you do a thorough vehicle history check. Otherwise, you just don't know what you're buying. Let me show you how it works then. So all you do is go to carvertical.com and then you type in the reg or the VIN, and that's it. So let's do this Audi, for example. So Whiskey November 13 Victor Alpha, and then check vehicle. Now what this does is it checks database in 35 different countries. So it'll tell you if it's ever been stolen, written off, had a mileage rollback, or has outstanding finance on it. It isn't just a UK thing either, it works in 35 different countries, so it produces a really thorough report. It doesn't take long, and this week it's even cheaper than usual. They've got a Cyber Monday offer on, so if you use the promo code CM, that's CM, Cyber Monday, you'll save yourself 30% off each and every check that you do. And just like that, the report's done. So, view report. Never been clocked, no outstanding finance, no recorded accident damage, and never been stolen. It shows the mileage there, which is consistent. Nothing to worry about there. We'll scroll down then to the average market value. Average market price of such a vehicle is 8,915. Mine's on 8,995. We've got the spec there. And we've got the timeline. So it shows us all the MOT history, the ownership changes, plate changes. It's all listed. You can see here that it's just had MOT without a single advisory item. That was done by me. So yeah, thanks Car Vertical for sponsoring today's video. We've had quite a busy couple of months, so the stock has changed since I last did one of these videos, but I think both of these featured in the last video. I don't really know why. I thought they'd have sold by now. We've got a 2014 Ford Ka and a 2013 VW Up. And yeah, weirdly, they've just taken route to the forecourt. I don't really know why. They're both priced well, they're both in good condition, they've both been prepared well, so they're all ready to go. Over there in the far corner, now this is probably the wrong time of year to sell this, but it's a VW Transporter day van. So the roof lifts up and you can go off and have your adventures in it. Now we've had that for a couple of months. We've had loads of inquiries on it, but for one reason or another, hasn't completed. One of these days I should take it out and do a camping video with it. Next to it then, this is a really nice car. This arrived last week. It's a 2021 Volvo XC60 in possibly my favourite colour. It's a 2-litre diesel hybrid automatic. It's done 82,000 miles and it's an R design, so it looks a bit sportier. And it's for sale for 22,795. It's sort of like the perfect size car. Next to the Volvo XC60 is a Vauxhall Insignia Estate. Now we actually supplied this car to the previous owner about 3 years ago and he's just traded it in for something newer. So we've got it back. We've actually got a test drive on that tomorrow morning. So tomorrow morning we'll have to move all these cars out of the way and get it all cleaned off and make sure it's got fuel in for a test drive. Over here we've got a 2014 Vauxhall Meriva. These always sell quite well. It's done around 80,000 miles and it's for sale for 3,995. But it's quite a good little practical family car for somebody who doesn't want or need a big SUV. Over here we've got a Land Rover Discovery 5, although it's not technically called a 5, is it? But that's what it is. I think these are great value now, to be honest. It's a 2017 and it's for sale for 19,495. It's quite a good colour as well. It's almost like a Giverny green. When I bought it, I did a few miles on that myself just to make sure it was all fine, which it is. What else have we got? We've got a Ford Ranger pickup truck. Now that came in part exchange against a new shape Ranger pickup truck that we had. That one's automatic. And again, we had somebody on that last week, but for some reason, they didn't buy it. Over here in front of me is a Renault Laguna Coupe. Now I've done a video with this. This was the first car that I bought from my auction. So I bought it from G3 Auctions over in Yorkshire somewhere, and then massively overspent on it. But it's a really good looking car, that. All I need to do next really is find it a new home. Next to that Renault is another Renault. This one's a Clio, 2017 1.5 turbo diesel. Now these Mark III Clios I genuinely think are pretty good cars. They also do it in a 0.9 litre turbocharged petrol engine, which are also pretty good. So there's that. It's a great colour blue, that actually. Speaking of great colour blues, we've got a Vauxhall Mokka 2015. Now this one came in part exchange. It's low mileage and it's for sale for, I think it's 7,495. Better still. Over here we've got a 2013 Vauxhall Corsa. Now I bought this from a YouTube viewer up in Scotland somewhere. It was his sister's car. So I had it transported down. It's a really nice little thing. I think it's done 44,000 miles. It's a 1.2. It's got the black wheels with the black roof. When I was buying it I thought this won't take long to sell. It's most people's dream first car really. Saying that, I've only had it in stock about a week, so I'm convinced it will sell. In front of that then is a Nissan Qashqai. Now, I sold this car a couple of years ago to the previous owner. He's a regular customer of mine, and he called me about the blue the other day to say he'd bought himself a brand new car and would I be interested in buying this back. So because I knew its history, I obviously agreed. All I needed to do with that really was give it a service, MOT, give it a good buff, and then put it on the forecourt. And that, again, it's a late 2013 360 model. It's had the cam belt done, it's a 1.5 litre diesel, and it's for sale for $4,995. So it's a good little family car for somebody really, isn't it? Over here we've got a little 2012 Ford Fiesta. Now these are always great sellers. It's a little 1.25 litre, and I really rate these, to be honest. It's done 118,000 miles, which I know is a little bit high, but it's reflected in the price. Good colour as well. Over here, now, we've had this for way too long, and it's a beautiful car. It's a long wheelbase Audi A8, and it's only done around 40,000 miles. I reduced it the other day, actually. It was 17,995, and I've knocked £1,000 off it. So yeah, 16,995. It's just an awful lot of car for the money. And yet I'm struggling to find a buyer for it. It's annoying sometimes, but that's just the job. What have we got over there? Oh, this is interesting, actually. So we've got a 2020 Audi A1. Now, I did a review with one of these about 2 years ago, and they've really come a long way since the Mark 1s. That's almost the same size as an Audi A3. So, quite a lot of car for that sort of money, 17.5 grand. Over here, we've got a Kia Sorento. Now, I had two of these, the other one sold right away. This one's still here. It's done about 110,000 miles. It's a 2.2 litre diesel, and it's $3,995. So yeah, pretty good cars. Before we head inside then, where it's a little bit warmer, let me just show you this little Micra. Now, it's just been dropped back to me by Jimmy the Magician, who's worked his magic. I don't know why I'm getting so excited about this. It's a 1994 Nissan Micra 1.3 LX, but, wait for this, it's done 12,000 miles. It's had one lady owner from new, with, 12,000 miles. So I asked Jimmy to paint a couple of patches. There were a couple of areas where there was some sort of lack appeal, particularly, I think it was here, or it might be on the other side. So he's painted it, buffed it. I also asked him to paint the wheel trims, just make the whole car look as mint as possible. And that, you just can't believe it's a 30-year-old car. It looks as good as new. So yeah, I'm quite excited about that. Right, let's head inside. Like I say, excuse the mess because it is a bit of a building site. But before we see the cars, would you like to see what I've done in the bathroom? Have a look at this. My dad has completely ripped out the old bathroom and done a really good job. She's put some new wood panelling around, painted everywhere, new toilet, new sink. Well, looks really cool, doesn't it? Brand new mirror, watch this. Oh yes. New radiator, which is nice and warm and efficient. And we've even got a hand dryer, like a proper establishment now, aren't we? No more dirty old tea towels. You might not have seen the old bathroom. It wasn't too bad, to be honest. It wasn't too bad, but it just needed a bit of TLC, which it's now had. So that's the first job done. Plenty more work to do. Like I say, excuse the mess, because there's mess everywhere at the moment. Over here then, we've got a late 2013 BMW 435i. Now, it's quite a special car, this. In fact, in the showroom right now, we've got two 435s. One petrol and then a diesel over there. So this one's done 120,000 miles, but the service history is impeccable. It's for sale for $10,995. This is the kind of car that I would use myself. I bought this from a local main dealer and immediately just fell in love with it, really. It's a really cool thing. Behind the 435 is a 2016 66 VW Touareg. Now this one actually came in part exchange against the new shape black Touareg that I did a review with recently. It's a really nice car, this. It's a 3-litre turbo diesel V6, it's the R-Line, so it looks quite sporty. It's done 47,000 miles, and it's for sale for $19,995. And I always think it's quite a good sign. The previous owners bought another one, so they're obviously quite impressed with it. I quite like a Touareg anyway, to be fair. Next to it is my 5-litre supercharged Range Rover, which I'm in no rush to sell, to be honest. It's here, it's for sale. It isn't everyone's cup of tea, is it, to be honest? There aren't many people that want a 5-litre supercharged Range Rover, but it's a nice one. It's done 45,000 miles actually. Full Land Rover service history. I've looked after it really well. The tyres are all good. And yeah, it's for sale for $42,995. which is about half what I paid for it about 2 years ago, but that's another story. Over here then, we've got a beautiful Snapper Rocks 435 diesel convertible. This one's done 80,000 miles, and again, the service history is impeccable. It's got full BMW service history, the gearbox has been serviced. It's just a really nice car. And this is probably the best colour. Snapper Rocks Metallic. It's one of my favourites. I should do a video with that really. I've had it for a month or so, maybe 6 weeks, and I haven't had any interest in it, which is strange because that's the kind of car that I would I'd buy myself. Next up then is the little Piaggio Ape van. Now I did a video with this at the time. I bought a cheap tuk-tuk or something it was titled. I've had this, now don't get me wrong, I didn't expect this to sell immediately, but I thought it might have sold by now. I've reduced the price, so it's now for sale for slightly less than I paid for it. It's not great business actually, but yeah, there we are. I just thought it would have sold by now to somebody who does events and stuff like that. That's what Lauren at the post office was using it for herself. But yeah, it just became surplus to requirements. So I've still got that. So if Postman Pat and Jess are watching, I've got 2 vehicles for you. This and the red Kia Soul. Right, last but by no means least is this 2019 69 reg Mercedes A-Class. Now it's a really nice example, this. It's done 45,000 miles, full Mercedes service history, the gearbox has been serviced, it's got 4 brand new tyres on it, new start-stop battery, it's got the diamond cut wheels. It's just a really nice car. This one used the 1.5 litre turbo diesel engine, and it's kind of the perfect car for most people. I've been using this myself, and the trip shows that I've been doing 70 miles per gallon at some points. Like 70. It's unbelievable, really. In addition to that, it's got reverse camera, DAB, Bluetooth audio, all that sort of stuff, as well as heated seats. So it's kind of the perfect car. I think I'm right in saying this, but I think the Mercedes A-Class is Mercedes' best-selling car. And it's not difficult to see why, to be honest. And I think this one in particular looks cool because it's finished in white, but it's got these little black bits of trim. So you've got a black spoiler here, black little bits of trim down here. It just looks quite cool and sporty. I've had lots of these recently and they never stick around for long. So I expect this one will be sold in probably a couple of weeks' time. Well, I think that's about it then, guys. So thank you once again for watching. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done already. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. I'll leave the links below. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Cheers.